Good evening. Here we are. We're here. What am I laughing at? That?
She had her fingers right in there.
Oh, right, trying to poke me in the eyes. Yeah. welcome all, and right, let's have a quick. There's who's in here we've got in the chat. We've got Coast to Coast Drones, Patrick and Jade. Caroline, hi Caroline. Jay is here again, and Kim, Chuck, and Jerry, and Steve Knowles, and Lauren, and someone else. That is it for now. So okay, right. So more than
Caroline.
9 people. I can more than 9 people.
Kim's in.
8 people. Well, all right.
9 people.
Not
all out.
Anyway, good evening, everyone. Right. So where are we? I don't know. I'm lost. I was going to say something.
That's a nice castle. Where is it?
That is. I'll give you a clue. Shall we give you a clue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's welcome this week's Drone Seekers live show special guest.
There's my clue. Down there.
There's the clue. The castle's just there.
You see, the difference is where I live, it's daylight there. Where Brian lives, it's dark. So there we are. So welcome, Brian. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. And
what are you eating?
Hot candy.
Oh, I like them.
Hey, that's interesting. You're just sort of halfway in the middle, and
yeah.
So yeah, Brian. So Brian's joined us tonight because we want to talk about his FPV. Because Brian got an FPV drone shortly after I made a visit and introduced him to the world of DJI FPV drones, and it seems funny. And of course, and so did Marcus as well. But the strange thing about it is that everyone seems to have launched into, especially so anyway, Brian was launched into
manual mode.
Manual mode. So how you get on with manual mode, then, Brian? Is it easy, or do you recommend I try it, or I should leave it alone?
I would try it personally.
You did. You were good at it.
I've no ventured into doing the tricks yet, the loops and all that.
No,
I'm kind of on edge about that. Ian.
So do you? I take it do you keep the drone quite high when you're?
Well, there's two. I don't know if you know. There's 2 settings that you have to change in the through the
software.
goals. The one so as it can do the flips and that. I've not changed that. I've left that as it is. So I can't actually flip it right over at the moment. But it does unlock the manual mode.
Yeah, because at the moment, whatever you do, it stays in either normal or sport mode, doesn't it? Until you make the change in the goggles themselves.
Aye.
So
I've not actually opened up what they call the acro mode, as they say.
Oh, so it actually wouldn't be a bad way to fly manual mode, would it? Without opening acro.
I think it's a good way to start.
So is it? Well, you haven't tried it acro mode, but so does it mean that if you switch it over so it is in manual mode, sort of manual mode, but is it sort of like half manual mode? I mean, will it still go the speed of a manual mode drone?
You'll get the same speed. I mean, I done one the other day, and I had it up at about 92 mile an hour. I had it moving it.
Did you change the sticks at all, Brian, or did you leave them?
No, I left them centre, and I just made sure that I didn't let it go. Okay, let it go, and it would gone straight up in the air.
So did you just hold it? You just held it down, yeah.
Just hold it down.
Basically, aye, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's certainly good fun. It's a experience.
Hey, there she is.
Hi, Steve. Hi.
Hiya. You're right.
Hi, Mary.
Brian.
Hi.
Just brought me a coffee.
So, Northeast FPV says you're just in sports mode when it's like that.
No,
It's not sports mode. They're different, yeah?
they're different. Yeah.
He's sort of hot.
Sports mode is just like normal mode, but fast, yeah?
Yeah, sports mode is like in sports mode. I mean, you do about what 60, 62,
About 60 mile an hour in sport
60
mode.
mile an hour.
And in sports mode, you're still GPS enabled. When you put it
Yeah.
in the manual mode, it's the IMU is telling it which side is up and so forth.
See, even although I didn't adjust the sticks on the controller, when you flick it into manual mode, with the way I've got it at the moment, there's a thing comes up on the screen telling you the position to put the stick in before it'll engage it.
Oh,
Oh,
no, that's good then.
It's
So
making my
you can
head
do
hurt
that in.
already.
So you can change it in flight.
just the difference is, Jack.
Oh, I mean, I launch it in normal mode, and then I sit, and then I flick it into the switch onto manual, and then you have to position the sticks into the right place,
Hang on then. So if
and
you,
then it engages it, and away you go.
So if you take off in manual mode,
I've never done that.
Take off in normal mode, and you get the drone X high. How do you then? Because if you pull that stick down, the drone's going to come down, surely.
Yeah, but when as long as you keep the sticks so as the spring back to center, when you release the stick a wee bit or just let off slightly, it's going to come back up. It'll hold it. I find you can work it better. I'm quite nervous about actually slackening off the sticks.
Yeah,
because you've got to keep the throttle.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
Because I watched Windswept Robert when he took off in manual mode, and I thought, ooh.
Can you? I didn't know you could take off in manual mode. You can?
Yeah.
You can, you can land it in manual mode as well. That's quite tricky, I believe.
That'll be interesting.
I think
Robert's just said he can't hear anything we're saying. External speaker
it's
isn't working.
Quite a nice expletive, isn't it?
I guess he's angry because he can't hear us. Oh.
Who is it?
It's Bob Taylor.
There it is. It's in full.
Must be something wrong with his. Everyone else can hear us, can't they?
Yeah.
I hope so. Caroline, Acro full manual. She knows what I'm talking about, so it must be able to hear us.
Loud and clear, says Lauren.
Hi,
Shelby says hi all.
Yeah. Must just be Bob.
Hey, where you been?
Bernie!
Speaking of an FPV pilot, right there, Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie. Yeah.
He loves his DJI FPV bird.
He does. How you getting on with Bernie? I went Bernie's been flipping and thing up and down, throwing down chimneys and all sorts like that, hasn't he? What did you say?
Well, Windswept Robert was doing
Yes, well, I mean, did you see the last video he done sort of flying up? I sat there watching things. Wow.
Who was that? Windswept Robert?
Yeah.
Didn't he do a loop?
He did, aye. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Laddie is going well.
Where's Shelby? I can't see him.
Terry will be doing that soon. Terry will be doing loops and barrel rolls. And
I was flying it quite well last Tuesday. It looked good, didn't it, Jackie?
Yeah,
it did. It did look good, and I got complimented on the flying. But that was only in sport mode.
I just love the sound of it in sport mode. I mean, because you've still got the control there, I just love to sort of just move it a little bit away and then just whack.
I bet it's even better in manual mode, the sound when you're hitting 92
Was
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Flying over people's head.
yeah.
Was it? I can't hear it. I can't hear you guys. Maybe it's my connection.
Yeah, I think it must be.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yeah.
That's great IT support.
Yeah, great IT support. That's what they're saying. It. Have you tried that? Yeah. I had a problem with my telephone line once. The woman said, "Pull the lead out and plug it in the other socket." Yeah.
That's
Now you just think about that for a minute. Unplug the phone while I'm talking to it. Unplug it and plug. Yeah, very good. I thought very good advice.
Didn't want to deal with you, did she?
Yeah.
Roaming Ray. It was Roaming Ray.
Hit it with a hammer.
Hi, Roaming Ray.
Hi, Roman Ray.
That's,
Roaming?
That's a friend of mine from St Boswell's, just along the road. Actually, he just got his a Mini 2 not long ago.
Very good choice.
Can you show him how to use it?
So, Ray, a word of advice: Mini 2 one day, FPV the second day.
Slippery slope.
Yes, yeah.
Just a hint there. No pressure. Been a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm taking my Mini 2 out tomorrow on the back of my bike.
Patrick says, Jackie, he says that's one big glass of green water. It's the green water's covered in green background.
Oh,
that almost
was green water. I thought you were talking about your background.
I bet it'll make
It's glass. It's just orange squash, but
I thought it was
orange
maybe
or
lettuce
green
juice or
orange.
something.
Orange. That is not orange squash, Jackie. Orange squash. I'm colourblind.
well, I have double strength and I still have a massive amount because I like it.
So it's a glass green then.
Yeah, it's in a turquoise glass. Look, see?
Oh, I see. So it's not green, it's orange. Yeah, right, okay. Got it now. Hi, Ross. How you doing? Good day from totally drenched Brisbane.
Yeah, they've had loads of rain, haven't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Russ
Oh, wow.
has really got. He's in a bad situation now.
Carol says a screwdriver, Jackie. Have you got alcohol in it? Was that? Gary says it looks like a fish wee soup.
Me too. Oh, nice. Yum, yum, yum.
What can I say? Only Gary would figure that. she can hide behind it. Well, we'll keep, how long can we keep this conversation about Jackie's green wee soup?
Let's go back to that castle, Brian. Where's that
Yeah,
castle?
there you go.
Yeah, let's talk about the castle. Yeah.
No, well,
So, I know where the castle is, and Brian knows where the castle is. Well, everyone here knows where the castle is. So, it's actually Hume Castle, where Brian lives.
Ah, cool. Is that the one you flew at when you went and visited him?
I've still got some video footage actually. Because I flew the flag's not there, Brian. There was a flag there when I flew around it.
Oh, it's just about non-existent now with all the wind we've had.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
There's hardly anything left of it.
yeah, it's in Belgium. Right.
Ross said it had 31 inches of rain.
Whoa! Is it flooding there? I haven't seen the
They're having a rough time. Yeah.
Oh dear.
They are.
31 inches of rain.
That's a lot of rain.
I can't even imagine what 31 inches of rain.
And for God's sake, Steve, you live in the UK. If you can't imagine,
Yeah.
Well, that's 9 inches, Steve.
I haven't got a clue what you're on about this.
how did we go there?
I don't know. He was talking measurements, and I thought I'll throw that one in.
You just have to, right? You know,
Oh, yeah, it's there, isn't it?
To be honest with you,
man, it's what we do.
to be honest with you, I think we've had more wind than rain. Every time it rains, the wind just blows it straight over there somewhere. Well, you, Brian, you had some snow. What?
That's very true. Very true.
We've had nothing substantial, just showers.
Yeah,
But we have had the wind's been horrendous.
yeah.
We had red rain last night. We get a lot of wind coming over from the Sahara, and with the rain, and my fan's all red and horrible.
Gonna have to wash it now, aren't you?
I got to hose it down tomorrow. Yeah.
Major flooding. Good grief.
Mm. Oh.
That's not good.
This Ross, I think, is quite high up in an apartment, so
He lives in an apartment building, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but still, it
The
it
people
affects
on the ground floor.
services and everything else.
yeah.
And if it's lapping on his windows, it's very deep.
Oh god, yeah. That'd be 31 feet, I think.
Yeah. It's funny though, because Linda's cousin lives there, and they got a huge tract of land, and they got a lake which they quite often water ski on and everything. But quite often, that gets so dry they walk across it. But of course, now with all that rain, then there'll be water skiing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kev, he found his way back into the. There you Kev.
Yeah.
I'll try.
There he is.
There he is.
Not a very good interview.
Oh.
You have to change your name back, Kev, to
Yeah, we
Kev.
were just
Tonight.
discussing your name. He's not even going to respond.
I'm not saying nothing.
Can you hear us?
Was Mary? Oh, I see.
Move your head, Kev.
Oh, I'm trying to catch up with him in the chat here. I'm just make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm thinking, Kim saying, hello, Mary. Well, she's not there.
Yes, she was.
She's
Hello,
in there.
yeah.
She's in the
Mary's
chat.
on
I
there.
think, now.
She's in the chat now. That makes more sense.
So Steve, have you got any Brian videos lined up?
Oh, yes. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, come on, Steve.
I want to
just,
see.
I'm
hoping you're
reading the chat in here. Is you know, I don't want to miss anything.
I'm hoping to see a particular video. I haven't mentioned it, so I'll be disappointed if you don't show the one I want to see.
Uh-oh.
No pressure.
Hello, Kev. Can you hear me?
I'll shut up.
Kim.
Oh, he's
Oh, it's
gone.
me again.
Oh.
Will you stop going? You're flicking in the corner of my eyes, even. Right. I think I know one you'll talk about, Jackie. So that wasn't the one, Jackie.
Outstanding, Brian. That is just outstanding.
So I thought by your comments, Jackie, you say because like wind turbines. I mean, I'm sorry. You took me. Sorry, Gary. The penny suddenly dropped.
Oh, Gary.
I looked at that. Big back. Oh, yeah.
I'll get the FPV drone around the wind turbines the next time.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, all I could think about was flying through those propeller blades.
That's it, like Lara Croft.
Yeah.
I mean, they go quite quickly, but as long as you time it right, I mean, you just imagine just about missing the blades.
Can you imagine, though, if you hit it and the damage it could cause?
Oh, no.
Smash it to smithereens, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
If that happens, just walk away. Walk away. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
Hello. Who's is that?
Mary says your birthday card. I'll tell you what, it's a long way off though. Don't make it too soon.
Well, make it, Mary, so that he can bring it over to Spain.
She gave us a T-shirt too.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I like that.
When I first saw that, I thought it was a Genesis T-shirt.
Yeah, they did one like that, didn't they?
Yeah, we can't. I've got what the song was called now, but yeah, it wasn't.
Hey, Steve, how old are you going to be? 35?
Yeah, but around about whatever age I want to be, really. I don't mind. That wasn't a Genesis T-shirt, Chuck. It's not. It looks like a Genesis T-shirt.
It does.
It's when they actually turn from apes to adults and then start flying drones.
Yeah.
My favourite one is a T-shirt that's got all the rules, like rules when you make a conversation with someone. All the questions that someone's going to ask you about a drone.
Oh, I've got you in I know.
And no, you can't have a go.
Yeah, you can't have a go.
I don't know bought me that. So I bought a T-shirt. I just love that T-shirt. So I suppose, yeah. So that is the truth. It is the true fact.
Gary's wife's birthday.
What?
Mrs. Duck's birthday.
Was it?
Today.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Duck.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Chunky Duck. Yeah, happy birthday.
She's a fan of windmills as well, then.
Always getting asked, can I have a go? And what is all the answer, Caroline?
Yeah, no.
So anyway, Brian, yeah, I mean, sorry, we diverse going all over the place. So FPV flying then is it your new go-to drone now? Then is it? I mean, you still got your other drones, of course, but
there's no. It's just not the same flying the Air 2S or the Mini 2. So
it just I know what you mean, because he doesn't seem to go. Don't go so fast, does it?
Yeah.
Maybe
there is that, but it's just I don't know. As soon as you put the goggles on, that's it. It's a different world altogether.
I was just saying before we came on air, I was saying to Brian and to Steve, my sister-in-law, she put on my goggles and I was flying it, and when she took them off, she said, "I was disappointed." I said, "Well, why?" She said, "I couldn't see out of the side window."
I mean, the only thing I've not got is a name.
So we've got a name.
You haven't got a name for it?
Sharky.
Yeah.
She's got what looks like a
You
shark.
could call it border bouncer.
I mean, I don't know. I was thinking
My granddaughter calls it a beastie.
Beastie.
Yeah.
Beastie.
You called yours, wasn't it?
Mine was, and then I went back to Brutus.
Brutus.
Yeah, Brutus 3.
So we've got to think of a name. Anyone there? Kim
Tim reckons call it Raptor.
Raptor.
Yes.
Oh, there's you. No.
Yeah.
It's
Raptor.
name.
Brian's Beast.
No, that's something else altogether.
Call it Flying Ball Brian. Oh,
Well, Ray says hi, Alan. You could call it hi, Alan.
What made you
call it hi, Laurie?
What made you buy the FPV, Brian?
Because you saw how much fun Steve and I were having.
You could say.
Really? It was that influence, was it?
I'll be honest, Jack. I thought about it for day one when it came onto the market.
Yeah.
And I was cautious because I know how hard it is to fly FPV, and I wasn't sure how it would pan out, and the price of it as well. I thought it's a lot of money to crash.
Well, that's just my fault. But when I was thought about when I'm watching videos and thinking, well, hang on, these guys have never flown FPV in their life, but yet they're flying this quite happily. I thought, I don't know what to fuss about, because at the end of the day, you get when I first took off, my first ever flight with it, I took off and I was like, what's going to happen to it? And within about 5 minutes, I was, what the hell? Come on, I was It was nowhere near the fears that I thought. Perhaps it's all Steve's fault. It probably is my fault. Everything else is my fault. So
wait till you stick it in manual mode.
I think the good thing about the FPV is it's easy to fly coming from a normal DJI drone, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I found it very easy. I don't do all the aerobatics. I do all the acro stuff, but it's just I love going low and going in and out of things. That's more my thing than high speed.
I seriously want to. I don't know what is going to happen, but once we get a decent flying weather back again, it's going in manual mode. Probably like you, Brian. I won't put it in acro mode. I'll just put it in manual, programmed for manual
just
mode.
Put it up a height. Just get yourself some height and flick the switch a bit. I mean, I keep my finger on that brake button.
So would I. As soon as it looks like it crashes, panic, whack.
So let me run this by you guys. One of the issues that I have, I mean, I've really only put 2 batteries through it so far because I have to. I feel like I need a spotter when I'm doing it, and so it's difficult for me. Often I'm just going out someplace by myself, so that kind of makes me a little nervous about flying the FPV drone. Situational awareness around you and so forth. The last time I did it, it was on a weekend like this, and Sarah went with me. But I'm just wondering how you deal with that.
What I generally do, Mark, is if I'm by myself, I sit in the car with the door open, and I sit in the car and fly it from there. And it's even better now with the van because I've got the side door, and I just get in the van and fly it.
Sure,
it's not been a problem.
No, it's just you better not crash it.
Do you have a spotter, Steve?
Say again?
Do you have a spotter?
I try to, yeah. I mean, normally I go flying chains normally there who sort of keep an eye on things because, well, at first when I was first flying it, because, you suddenly realise or you lose all your bearings as to what way you're facing as to what way the drone's flying. But of course, what you do is just where that little home arrow is, you follow that round and you can't, and you hear the drone go, and it goes past you one way, but you still can't work out what way you're facing because you hear the drone go across. You think, well, has he gone that way? That way?
Yeah.
Jay was saying he wants to the DJI FPV Mini.
That's what I want. The Skydio version. That's what I want. My perfect drone.
I don't flip my roll. It's a nice flowy look.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm after, Bernie. That's exactly what that is. To me, that's
indeed.
And that's one of the reasons I bought it, was watching Bernie's videos, thinking, oh, yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
So the other problem
on the cliffs.
Yeah, the other problem that I'm dealing with is I have a strabismus. My right eye does really all the work. My left eye is not worth a tinker's damn.
it's not stereo for you, is it?
Yeah,
You
so
can
what-
actually get
so what
lenses
I-
for inside the goggles, though, can't you?
Well, what happens, Brian, is I still don't see all the telemetry on the left side of the goggles then.
Right.
So is it a
So,
case
I don't
you oversee one side or the other, Mark? Because you've almost got a lot to look
Exactly.
over on the other side.
So I can adjust that, what do they call it, a diopter or whatever.
Yeah,
and
Diopter.
I can kind of move it over, but I still can't get. If I move it over too far, I lose the right side. But I kind of
you
put
got
it in the middle.
nothing.
So let me ask you this: so if you put it in 4.3 mode rather than 16:9, does that bring all the telemetry in too?
No.
Okay, that's
No,
what.
It
no,
stays on
no.
the edges, does it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it still stays on the edges. Yeah.
Mm. Caroline says the more tricks, the better. What are you flying, Caroline?
Caroline flies. I mean, she flies proper FPV drones.
Oh, does she?
I
Yeah.
mean, what's Jay saying? Jay saying, I saw your video on the drone mask, and you mentioned that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
was
Yes.
just So the drone mask was even
That's a good
worse.
one.
The drone mask was impossible. I mean, it was. It was way worse than the DJI.
This is what we were
FPV.
talking about, Brian. What is it? A drone mask? That's what it
That's
was,
the
isn't
thing, aye.
it? Yeah. Yeah. Ah, well,
Oh,
see,
That's when you try and turn your phone, is it, into an FPV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, and they actually sent it to me for review, and it's got a Fresnel lens inside there, and you can tell if you had two good eyes.
It'd be
I'm telling
good.
you, it would be awesome.
but when I'm flying, I don't tend to look at most of the telemetry. I'm obviously looking at height and probably speed to a degree, but flying, the worst thing is when you're flying, you're so immersed in it, and all of a sudden it goes battery low, return home, and the drone comes to break. He slams his anchors on to say, I'm going home now. No, you're not, cancer.
It's worse when you lose
You're just starting
telemetry.
to enjoy it.
Yeah, but when you've got a lovely shot and you lose telemetry, aircraft braking,
Yeah.
and that's it, it stops. Oh, bloody thing.
It literally just comes to a grinding halt. 1 minute you're 65 miles an hour, next minute it's like, what's happened?
That's when I fall out of my chair.
Yeah.
Or out of the car.
Brian, do you sit down when you're flying in, Brian?
Sometimes. I don't need to.
No, I don't need to. I prefer to stand, personally.
I do. I definitely need to sit down.
We used to sit down with Terry. We used to use the DJI. I don't know what you call them. Goggles. You used to sit down with them, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. I think it's probably my age.
I think, to be honest with you, what worries me is the fact that when you're sitting down, you're losing height of the signal. But I suppose it makes a lot of difference whether it's what we're talking about. We're only talking about 2 foot difference. A lot of difference, really.
No, it doesn't make any difference at all.
I've never like.
As long as you got your antennas on, eh, Terry?
Shut it. Shut it.
This is very true, Gary. It's what we're saying. Really, you're better off when you're flying FPV. So actually, unless you live where Brian lives, because you won't be find anyone walking around where Brian lives.
Yeah, you don't need a spotter, do you?
Sit in the back garden.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why, Gary, I sit in the van or I sit in the car, and then nobody come up behind me.
Robert found a way around having a spotter, didn't he? He, instead of wearing his goggles, he connected his goggles to his iPad.
To like an iPad or something, so you can view the screen on the iPad.
Yeah. So you can still fly it. Yeah.
I've done that before. Do you remember I did that with that kid?
But then you don't get the immersion, though. You don't get the same
No.
thing. It's like flying any other drone then.
But you can fly it alone that way, can't you?
Yeah. There was a video I meant to show for a couple of weeks, actually. It's sort of on target with what we're talking about, but this isn't. I can't remember for the life of me who's done this video now, so you have to excuse me. But anyway, let's watch it anyway.
These mist-covered mountains are old out from Will return to the people. Victims of the system. Do not despair. Do not despair. Do not despair. Do not despair. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. So long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to broke. Men who despise you and slave you, who regiment your lives, who you come to what to think or what to feel, who even you tire you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to the unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machine, You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age security.
I like this one. I'm watching that.
No, I've had that sort of queued up for about 2 weeks now, but I haven't had a chance.
That didn't half look close a few times, Mike, didn't it?
I'm just thinking, it's actually, I mean, obviously a DJI FPV drone. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm guessing, I think that was in manual mode. I'm sure it was flown in manual mode because it needs to be to keep up with that thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I actually asked the question at the time. Someone said it was in manual mode. But never hit one yet.
Never hit one yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you just keep those videos coming. It keeps me happy.
Yeah, really
I just love them. I mean, it's a lot longer now. Obviously, you want to see the whole video. Pop over to Northeast FPV. I think that says the name of the channel. I'm sure it is. Well, it says on there. But yeah, obviously, I have to edit them because I'm allowed so much. So anyway, right. So what do you reckon then, Brian? You doing that next? Do you think?
Oh, I would love to.
Well, if you're the only one's going to do it around here, you're the one who's going to do it. Jackie, did you say you actually?
Yeah, we went out recently with Harvey, and he's bought one of the fixed wing things, and I got so excited getting ready to chase it that I forgot to press record. I got a clip of it on my GoPro on the ground, and that's all I got because I hadn't pressed record on Platypus.
It was too windy for him, though, wasn't it? In the end.
Yeah, he just did the one flight, didn't he? So,
how's he getting on with that? Is it happening? Is it flying? This thing?
He flew it.
But how long does it stay up in the airport before it lands?
Oh, he was doing figure of eights and everything with it.
It was too windy, though.
But yeah, it couldn't keep it up long because it was too windy.
No, that is the problem.
Hopefully, soon we can have another go, and this time I'll press record.
I'm bad for that with the FPV drone. I send it up and fly around. I think, oh, I'm not recording that.
I must admit, it was hard to follow on with my ordinary drone. I got him on the takeoff and went up with it, and then he turned and I lost him. But,
so what he needs to do is keep in a straight line for quite a while, and gradually sweep around so you can actually sort of turn, because the thing is, you see that flight there. I mean, a lot of the time that drone was right behind. Well, he timed it underneath it sideways. I'm thinking, whoa.
And you have to communicate, right? I'm about to turn right. I'm about to turn left.
Yeah. You're right, Marcus. Exactly what you said. It was all Harvey's fault.
Yeah, Harvey. All your fault, Harvey.
He was telling me, didn't he?
Yeah. Jackie says it's your fault, Harvey.
Yep.
You got to go straight, left, bank left, bank right. That's the way it works. Communication is a great thing.
I had no chance, really. Yeah.
Technical term there, Jackie.
Fixed wing thing.
Fixed wing thing.
I can't remember the name of it. It's on my video, though.
It's a glider, isn't it?
Yeah, he did tell me the name of it, and I put it on my video, but I can't remember.
15 minutes north of Newcastle. I live in my brother lives in Gateshead. Where is it? I can't remember where he lives now. Somewhere in Newcastle, anyway.
Oh, I'll be up there in May.
I'm in Newcastle. No, Nottingham. I thought it was Nottingham you're going to. Nottingham?
I'm going to Nottingham, then we're going up to Newcastle to see my son.
Are you going to take the camper van?
Yeah. Camper van, and it's full of drones.
Pop across the border, Terry.
Sorry, Brian?
Should just pop across the border.
I would do, actually, yeah. If we were up a bit longer.
Well, Brian's about 70 miles from Newcastle. I know that because I thought I left Newcastle and drove up to Brian's, about 70 miles, so it's not that far.
No.
Just up the what way did I go? Up the A1, then turned off just before Berwick, wasn't it?
Before Berwick, aye.
Yeah, just turn left and keep going that way. Very technical term. Even that old follow the sat nav actually best.
And look for the castle on the hill.
Look for the castle, yeah.
And that's what I was doing. I was just thinking, there's got to be a castle here somewhere. I'll stop to wind the window. Excuse me, ain't seen a castle anywhere. It was one up there. There can't be that many castles around here. As I said that, Brian, when I've come up to yours, the biggest disappointment was when I come over the actual border. I thought, is that it? No fanfare, no greetings, no.
Well, what did you expect? Like a big gate and guards and stuff, Steve?
I just expected something to say.
There's a big sign, isn't there, saying welcome?
It depends. I think I went into Scotland on the back roads. I think.
The way you went back was nicer, though, when you got up to the top of the border.
Yeah. When I got up there, Brian told me to go back a different way, and I went back a different way, and I did actually see then the proper sign. I thought, that's what I was waiting for.
He thought Robert the Bruce would be there.
Robert you?
Robert the Bruce.
I've got one more video to show. I think. Actually, I've got two more videos to show. So I won't make shows because we're running out of time.
Yeah,
anyway, Luke, I did promise Luke I'd show this again about 2 weeks ago because Luke's been doing some more work for the BBC. So it's a bit old hat now, but we'll show it anyway.
Cool.
It's a very, very big ship. A very, very big ship.
Awesome.
The time lapse of it being turned was good, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Right, so in our last video of the night, we're speeding things up. We're doing okay. We're all right. Oh, yeah. Brian, this is one for you.
That's the one.
Now you know where the castle is.
That's the one.
That's so awesome, Brian.
It doesn't do a lot of justice actually watching that, because it doesn't look as fast as what actually was going.
Yeah.
Didn't someone actually make a comment on there, Brian? Said it doesn't look really fast. I want don't look really fast. Well, 92 miles an hour. Yeesh.
But you can see that I hit the brake a couple of times.
Well, if you don't think the soundtrack matches really well, I bet Brian's heart rate was up there.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, the noise, the screams of the drone is like it's almost in agony, and it's like, whoa.
Oh, it's just great, isn't it?
I mean, the last little bit of the run on that video, when I took off across the field, you seen it actually, the camera, it lifted up and then dipped just before it took off.
Yeah.
Well, that was me just engaging manual mode, and as I was saying, you had to move the sticks into a certain position.
Yeah.
And that's what it done, and then
So you can't take off in manual mode then, is that what you're saying?
You can, yeah, but it's just having the guts to do it.
Oh, I see. So,
you know, I mean, I think once as Caroline says, you know, where are you? Yeah, she said that if you're 6 foot off the ground, I mean, even in sport mode, it's 6 foot, you know, they look pretty amazing. But as I say, you went 90 miles an hour, 6 foot off the ground, like the ground.
Well, I mean, I got across that field that quick. I couldn't believe it. I was having to stop and turn round about.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Steve. So I'm just talking to Steve. I'm going to see him tomorrow. We're doing a bike ride.
Bike ride, okay.
Yeah, drone and bike.
Excellent.
Well,
Jackie's not coming.
I assume you'll have the weather for it.
Here.
Unlike here, we won't have the weather for biking and droning tomorrow. Pretty much like the whole week, really. It's been just wind, and a little bit of rain and more wind.
No, we've just got slightly overcast, and I think it was 9 mile an hour winds from the north. So it'll be all right.
Cold, isn't it, lately?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to get away up north in July this year so hopefully get some footage of some mountains and high waterfalls and things like that.
How far would you have to travel then, Brian? What, about 50 miles or more than that?
It's about 4 hours from where I am now.
Really? 4?
Grief.
Wow. That's a fair old trek.
I'm hoping to get some good weather so I can get. I'm taking all the drones ways. Like I'm just
going
moving
to
all
the Highlands.
Is
that you going up to the Highlands, Brian?
Yes, aye.
Nice.
Oh, that would be
across to the Isle of Skye as well, if we can.
Yeah.
Marcus,
where are you going in August?
End of July.
Well, hopefully the weather will be good.
Yeah.
Mid-G season.
We just changing and stuff. We wanted to make sure we didn't want to. We're not going to do a joke up tonight. Under the present circumstances in the world that we live in, this wonderful world that we live in, and as you can see from our background, we are very much in support of Ukraine. And Marcus, if you want to say a few words.
Yeah, I do, Steve. Thank you. So, it's really fun hobbies like this where we're talking about drones and typically on this show we spend the whole show joking around and giving each other a hard time, but there are people in the world right now that they're fighting for their very homes, peaceful people in Ukraine. And we need to show them as much respect as we can. And we all felt that at the end of the show, we ought to just talk a little bit about what's going on and how we feel about it. And I'm telling you, my heart right now is with the people of Ukraine. And and you know what? It's not even just that. My heart is also with those young men that are in those Russian BMPs crossing the border that I don't think they knew what they're getting into. It's just a mess. And there's people that are fighting and dying right now. And it's just really tough to take. And a peace-loving country like Ukraine, they're no threat to anybody. And it's just sad and distressful. And then, you add on top of that, you've got a guy like Vladimir Putin now that's talking about his nuclear capabilities, etc. And it makes the world a less secure place and a less happy place to be. So I just wanted to say for the record that my heart is with the people of Ukraine, and I hope that this can be resolved soon and everybody can get back to peace. For the people of Ukraine, the people of Russia, and all of the rest of us. And especially I'm thinking about my friends in Europe right now, because I know that this affects you guys even more than it does us here in the U.S. So that's about it for me.
I totally agree with you there, Marcus. And as you said, we did speak about this before. I felt very uneasy about telling jokes. And as an ex-serviceman, and I'm sure I speak for all of the ex-servicemen who are on now listening or who watch later, that you do join a military to fight at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that fighting is for protection. But you do feel for the people whom you're fighting. And what's the point? What is the point at the end of the day? And it's not the people upstairs that suffer. They will rant and rave. It's the blokes on the ground, it's the families, it's the children, it's the animals, it's the infrastructure. That's the sort of thing that worries me, and it sickens me, and it disheartens me. And I really do feel for these people, and really do wish I could do an awful lot more. I really do. And my heart does go out to them. I pray for them.
It's a very strange. I think just less than a week ago, people were talking, or we were sort of talking to Putin. He said, "I've got no desire to invade Ukraine." Says he's moved about 150,000 troops all around the borders. And for someone like that, there's something not quite right with this man. I thought I'd seen the last of dictators in my life, and obviously before my life. But obviously that's not the case. There's always going to be someone, and someone sits there. And let's face it, if there's a nuclear war, there is no victor.
Yeah, nobody wins.
War. Nobody wins. So Putin, you're just going to kick yourself in the seat. But maybe because you've had a life, maybe that's the way you want to go out and take everyone with you. Well, then perhaps someone needs to take you out before you do anything silly, eh?
Yeah, fast forward if put him in a bunker with a cyanide pill.
Yeah. Do yourself a favour, Putin. Just take the tablet. Yeah, take it now. Do us all a favour.
Yeah.
We are. So it's one of the things. I don't think we can let the show go tonight without all this being said, because it is important. It affects all of us. As Marcus said earlier on, we enjoy flying drones. We enjoy laughing and joking, and that's what we do here. This is why we do the show. But obviously, there are serious moments, and this is one of them, I think. So, well, thanks for joining in.
I've actually got a lot of respect for the Ukrainian president, actually.
Oh boy.
Respect for him.
That man started life as a comedian.
Yeah.
But what's he done now?
Yeah, and he's prepared to stand up for his country as well. He's staying there. He's not going into hiding.
Yeah. I like what he said to President Biden. I don't want a lift. I want ammunition.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, wow. Yeah. You don't see Putin there, do you? Where is he?
Exactly.
Hopefully on his way to his bunker with his pill.
Yeah. That'd be very, as I said, Patrick said his neighbours from the Ukraine, they have family over there, and this is the thing. But when they start talking about nuclear weapons, none of us are sitting very safe, are we?
That brings up one more point that I just thought of, Steve. Is so far about they're saying there's about 380,000 Ukrainian refugees now that are crossing into Poland and Romania and those other Eastern European countries. I'm saying the rest of the countries, obviously this big burden falls upon Europe, probably more than anybody, but right here in the U.S. and the rest of the world, we need to prepare to welcome these people and give them every advantage that we can.
Yep.
Very sad.
Let's hope this time next week things are better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Back to Terry's joke.
Put something in his soup, yeah. So if any one of his chefs are watching, pop something nice and tasty in his soup. Yeah, good idea. But there we are. Right, okay. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. And Brian, thanks very much for being our guest. And sorry you guys. And Kev, hope you get your Wi-Fi fixed soon, because next week's guest, I think Tanya's going to join us next week. I think Tanya's still with.
Did you see that video I just released, Flying with Tanya?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That was good.
We need to get Caroline on as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Field drones, that'd be good.
To put in, no. Right, okay. Well, have a good week, everyone. And Gary, you stayed right to the end of the show. Hey, what's going on there? What's he funny? Oh, Gary, you are very.
And on her birthday as
We
well.
needed that laugh right now.
Right, you got a date, Carol. I'll speak to you soon. Right, okay, perfect. Right, it's all coming into place. Anyway, thanks ever so much for joining us this week, as always. And so from Brian, Terry, Marcus, Jackie, and Kev, where we are in cyberspace.
See you tomorrow, Steve. 10 o'clock.
Oh, me. Oh, him. Oh,
Steve. No.
Steve. That's Stephen.
Stephen. Oh, yeah, Stephen. Stephen.
See you next week.
Bye.